Okay, so I decided that I'm just gonna play this until it's done. So I'll have it finished by the end of the weekend. It's difficult, like, it's a little tricky going between two different games, so. It's already annoying having to set up, like, all the tags and stuff, having to change the title as well. And across all platforms. And of course, they still don't have MYST 2021. They just have MYST 1993. It'll be interesting if they actually are, like, working on a. I doubt it, but it'd be kind of cool if they were, like, working on a proper remake of MYST. And they're gonna release it for, like, the 30th anniversary. Wrong screen. There we go. Okay. I gotta find my pen again. Which actually been working a little better recently, so there it is. Be a shame if something happened to it. So I think all of my notes may end up being restricted to one page, which actually is kind of a testament to how little note taking this game requires. I guess we're just gonna keep on. If that's not representative of anything whatsoever, at least the perspective seems to work. I mean, it's hard to tell if it works or not, but 54 volts. Isn't that the normal solution? I can't remember. It'd be kind of weird if this ball puzzle isn't randomized. It just looks a little like clearer what this is. It's a bunch of power generators. I think it was like a little cloudier in the original. Power the ship. Oh, I can close the door for no reason. This is the power and the power to the ship. Huh. Really? So, use masking tape, apparently. I'm assuming this is 10. I think it has to add up to exactly the number. The combination numbers 1 through 9 add up to 10, I think. Although it's also weird, there's 2 indicators, so. Could look at the other screen, because like the poster, okay, so this is a 9. Wait, what? Okay, so this is weird. You have to figure out what these are for trial and error. I'm not sure. Uh, there's probably some degree of precedent for this being a negative. Like but I'm in this case I'm entirely uncertain as to whether or not the original puzzle had numbers. I think it did have the numbers listed rather than just numbered. I mean, if the amount of voltage is randomized too, then I suppose it would be difficult to have the textures reflect that. But then again, this would be the familiarity thing. It's just that if it's different from the original game, then I want to, I need to once again look this up. MYST voltage regulator gives me a bunch of pictures of voltage regulators. Okay, so the board itself, yeah, I think the original solution was 59, so this is definitely different. Um, well, that's the picture of the voltage combination. Actually, it looks the same. Okay. And the original one was pinned to the wall. But I can't, I can't see. Okay, so in the original game, this was 10. It's still 10, okay. But they don't show a close-up of the actual poster. Oh, from the look of it, it doesn't look as though it has numbers on there. So you do actually have to go through and, um, sorry, I just really want to know if they tell you what the voltages are in the original game. So you can make a note about whether or not it's inferior or well, equal to the original game. I think the room is just brighter in this version. Oh, not even gonna bother to look at the diagram. Damn it! I literally had to fire up MYST. Um, I might. I think I'm just gonna give us an information negative. Okay, so here's what I've written down about this. It's an information negative. The fact that the power generator puzzle contains no indications as to which buttons provide which voltages is baffling. I imagine this even worse in VR where you can't easily take notes, and if you did, you couldn't look at them with the headset on. So like what I'm doing right now is I'm making notes of which buttons create which voltages so I can do the math on paper or in my head or whatever very easily without having to like look at okay which numbers are these like this is definitely a negative. Like I cannot imagine a world where this would not be bad, where this would not be terrible game design. Like maybe the VR is different when you have VR on and it has the indicators and they just gimp it in in the desktop version, I guess, um, because they want it to be more true to the original. Um, I'm not sure if the original had this issue. Again, I the little thing back here, I could swear that it actually had like the numbers rather than just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like that's actually quite deceptive. I have no idea what the heck that means because these are not what the buttons do. Like these are not the amount of voltage that the buttons provide. So it's like unless I am missing something, and you can tell me in the chat, you can tell me in the comments if I'm missing something. But as far as I can tell from the information provided, I have no way of knowing without going through each of the buttons individually, like I just did, and making a note about them. How the hell do I make a note about them if I have a VR headset strapped to my head? Like even taking screenshots. Like I mean, I had to take a series of screenshots and then like being able to flip back and forth between them and go, okay, if this one's this number and this one's this number and this one's this number, and I add those numbers together, does it get to the amount of voltage I need? Like it reduces it to pure trial and error. I also think it's a little weird that there's two different indicators because I believe they beat exactly the same thing. Unless I'm missing something or forgetting something. But that's not really not negative. That's just redundancy. So 16 and 19 are 34. I think this may be actually quite easy. Yeah, that would be no, that wouldn't be 34. That would be 35. Damn it. Um, and I can still work with that. Maybe. So it would be yeah, I just add 9. Done. So it would be I think hopefully was pin 26. It's 19, which is 45. Yep, got the achievement. I mean, I guess it's kind of easy if you, well, if you know the idea of it. Also, there's an extra element to it, where if you get it wrong, there's a switch you can flip. I can kind of show that to you. Too. I also think that aspect because you can basically overload it. You have to go up here and flip the breaker, which, nice mechanic, realistic mechanic, I guess. Um, I don't think it's a problem. I think there's two breakers. I don't know what the other one is. I think related. I think you can use either breaker. Anyway, we're gonna see what the worst by memory puzzle in the game. Oh god, it is. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So if you turn left like me, you're kind of screwed here. Um, so we had to count the number of keys. Ellie, I need to. Why are you showing up now of all frickin' times? I need to concentrate. Hey, can you just stay there? Dang it, this is. Because last time I basically had to count the number of notes, including the half notes. So this would be like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That. I need to print this off. Maybe. Can I actually do that? The printer isn't available now. Well, it should be. Okay, now it's available. Is that okay? Now I have to wait for it to print. It'll save me some time in the long run. It'll save me some room so I can keep my my streak going while we're using the one sheet in the composition book to do all my notes. Okay, I heard it draw the paper in. Did something happen? Oh, no. I was actually doing it in landscape format. I kind of neat. I don't need it in landscape format though. 10. Interesting, but okay, it'll do. It literally prints to the edge of the paper, which is unusual, actually. I think it's rare that I'm printing from my phone, so I don't know what the. So here's our. Is this actually backwards? I wonder if I may have flipped this. Let me see here. No, it's not mirrored. So, okay, no, it's okay. It's not mirrored. I'm so used to it being mirrored that okay, so I can literally like write numbers in each of these. I'm I'm gonna give this a control negative. I think maybe both for control. I might give it 2 negative total. 1 for control, 1 for information. I can't even speak to how difficult this would be in VR, and I'm not going to because I'm just gonna go ahead and go all the way through these, even though I've already reached the end of the stuff. I guess we'll see about control. There's already at least an information negative because this is information that not everyone can like process properly because music is um, tricky in general. Like I like to think that I've become a better singer than I I was like way back. I'm still probably not a particularly great singer. Like when I put in effort, I think I sound pretty good, but I'm still technically tone deaf, more or less. I mean, at least in this case, I am tone deaf to the extent where if I played the note, like a particular note, like on this keyboard, like I don't, one way I could potentially see this working is if you could literally like if there was some sort of a mechanism on here where you could get it to actually hold a note. But it would actually be the control aspect of it, or one control aspect of it, or a way to use control to um, better present information. They'd actually be very clever. That would be a very clever way to solve the problem, at least a little bit. Like basically, I mean, with a keyboard and mouse, it'd be tricky. Well, it'd be like I press this note and then press a button, and it'll hold the last note that was pressed. So you don't just have to keep that note in memory and then hope you can recognize what that note was when you get to turn around and go to the slider. That would be kind of I'm because this is my way of critiquing while also offering a degree of feedback. Let's call it the organ puzzle. I say I guess tonal acuity sound smart to um I wonder if you could actually do this in VR. Like that would actually I doubt because of the way it's designed you could do that. But like what if yeah, you couldn't. If they made this chamber like more compact, so like literally like hold down the note behind me and then turn around and reach the slider. So if you're deaf, like okay, we need to see um how gameplay context subtitles work. Now, I'm still going to write down my suggestion here, which I already gave. Also, this feature's probably going to be somewhat useful in the Selentic age anyway, so... Okay. So it's already saying G1. E2, F2, A2, B2, E3. Huh. I imagine that this actually fixes it, sort of. Um, Potentially. It's not gonna get rid of the negative because by default, I will give it a positive for this for the feature. Like I've already given it a positive for having the context, the contextual subtitles for hearing impaired people, but I will not subtract the negative because by default, the way it was designed to be played does not offer you a way to um, aside from the counting method, which is what I used when I played Real MYST Masterpiece Edition. Like basically this, like I don't know if you can see. Like I wrote numbers down on each of the keys. So like again, I think I demonstrated for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 36. So right now it would be numbers would be 26, 28, 23, 21, and 9. And the actual notes are F sharp 2, which stays on the screen too, that's actually nice. You can write it underneath. Or F flat, I guess. It's always flat. Although, or sharp. I think it's sharp. Like, no matter how you play it. That is musically inaccurate. Negative. Because the notes, I think, depend on the note that precedes it. So I think if you're going up, that would be a sharp. But I think if you go down, it's a flat. I don't know why that is. I mean, there's something like the tone of it that's a little different depending on the key that precedes it. It always kind of confuses me that like okay, there's a flat and a sharp, and it depends on what you played before that note. Anyway, 2 is the next one up. So F sharp 2, G sharp 2. This is very sharp. This is cutting into my soul. And we go all the way down to here. D sharp 2. So we're kind of playing it the way it's meant to be played, in a way, but not. Like, this is literally for deaf and tone deaf people. And I think most people are I had to imagine they're at least tone deaf enough that they couldn't like recognize the notes just by hearing them. You need to have actual musical training to recognize notes and replicate them on a keyboard. Then it's the first C# one. You actually can see it. This is pretty much. This feels like cheating, but it should feel like cheating. So we get information positive and information negative. Technically, they cancel each other out, but they're both worth noting. I think they're contextual gameplays I build. Like I very much doubt that I am an outlier who like just cannot. I mean, I haven't really tried, but like I just can't even like think of the idea of like I could I could actually like maybe even prove my point if I was feeling really ambitious, I would like record myself um like holding down a note for like holding down each note for a few seconds and then play it to myself and like replay it and then go up the slider and try to match it. Like that could be interesting. That could be an interesting way around it, or to even prove the point that having that as a feature. I mean, it could be a little annoying to like just hear this going on in the background while you're trying to find the match to it. But um, okay, so E#2, E#2. I can't give it a negative for control because, like, if I were going to go and do this, like, one, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. You can still do the counting technique. There's no real control issue. It's purely information. So I can't give it another negative to make it into a net negative thing. So like even though the the positive for the context the gameplay context, like if I were gonna wait if I were gonna add the weight to it, it probably would still be net negative, just by principle. Um, because you should not need a accessibility option for tone deafness. If I were properly deaf, sure, I am merely slightly tone deaf. Like I can kind of like vocally replicate a note with my vocal cords that I hear. I mean, I guess another way to do it if you're not deaf would be to literally like go like oh do re mi do do sharp re me do re sharp me sharp. Okay, I know. I that just proves I'm tone deaf. Perfect pitch. This one isn't glitchy. I really want to know if these wiki panels are actually three dimensional, because that would be kind of neat. And if they're not, if they could make them three dimensional, then they should have the full screen flyby be a just an optional um feature for those who don't get motion sickness as easily. Yeah, I was a little worried that I might not even be able to get into the Selentic age. Is this still interactive? It's a little like thing I came up with years ago, back when I actually had a keyboard. It's kind of interesting because you're like basically in the same location, just a little different. And like, oh no, I can't get back in. If we want to play the keyboard some more. Okay, so this is gonna be the second time I've ever played Selentic Age. So, and here are, for the record, my notes. I like put the actual numbers for the notes if I needed to count them. And it's actually feasible. I will give it some credit for that. And that may disincline me from somewhat from giving it an extra um, negative point. I've already given the positive for the fog effects, the volumetric fog effects in MYST, so or in the uh, what you call it, the Channelwood Age. Like the visuals are substantially pretty, which they kind of are, stuff are. I might kind of give it an information positive. I don't know. I'll also have to go back to all the other ages and like look at them and go, this looks pretty. I mean, all the ages look pretty anyway. Like this is even heavier fog, which I don't remember being the case in the original. So, uh, like I remember it being kind of bright and shiny, or Selentic Age being a lot more um kind of like clear. Now this could be random, actually. I suppose. Now that I think about it, and this is probably the easiest place to find the pages. Oh, this is the exact same sound effects from the original. Like this is what you'd hear in the Channelwood Age, instead of like the rushing water. Although that's it's a little weird that even though I still have the contextual stuff here, I can't actually hear or see the sound. Ah, it actually says right here, water running. Okay, so um, oh, lights it up. Okay, cool. I may need to actually well, either do a new page of notes or just put my notes on the back of this. So I'm not doing a Also, because I'm so far into my own like notes on the game itself. Otherwise, I'd try, but it's also the only age where Sear Snack and I don't actually have rooms, which is kind of a shame, but. So these are all wind blowing, dewy. Ethereal crystal sound. Loopy sound. Each of these has a color to it. May actually have to make the see if there's any color. Like coding too. Like this one looks like it's at least the symbol itself is yellow. Also the word indicator is red. Kind of like a yellowish orange. Or orangish yellow. But I think there might be another way to determine what color it is. Or what, like, button is which. Am I... Okay. I'm not sure if the fog is making Selentic age better or worse. Okay, these are all the same color. So, I don't need to make a note of the, I remember there being symbol for it, but either to help a little bit, or even help. I don't know, would they help? We've got all the pages now. All we need to figure out how to get out of here. And it doesn't represent anything. That's just a crystal. Get your mind out of together, people. I think all you do is just put these simple button to recreate them exactly. I just like to have good attention to detail, and sometimes I can't actually get that. Well, just the lava. There's like maybe one more. There's 5. Then we need to like figure out which is it, the red wire or the blue wire. Actually, there's two different green ones, so I don't know how we figure out. I think there's like some kind of radar that picks up on all the sounds. Like right there. Ah. We have to go underground. That's a little weird that if we turn power on to something, that screen goes black for a second. Huh, I don't know why there's a switch for that, but other than just the satisfaction of... I don't know why it does that. Like, it would be feel too weird to just have the light suddenly turn on. Or like flicker on. Okay, so that's lava rumbling, so... No, wait, okay, I guess we gotta get to... We've got... calibrate each of them, I guess. Let's see if we have a crystal sound. That's a broken clock. Huh. Huh. Maybe something happens when we get all of them right. And push the button. Okay. Okay. This is... This is a little slow, I'd say. Although it makes sense you're trying to be precise with it. Okay? Huh? I got it right. What's supposed to happen? Oh, I think maybe? So was it this one, this two, this is three, or wait, it could also be the order that they played in. I'll go ahead and but I think it's the order that it's played in, so actually I'm gonna start with the second one because I think that's what it's trying to tell me. Clock, wind, lava, and water flowing. 3 or 1 for broken clock. Wind is 2. Lava is 3. Wind is 2. Material is still 4. And water running is 5, I guess. Clock. Wind, lava, ethereal, water, which doesn't light up. That's a little weird. I'm pretty sure that's what's communicating to me. I wonder if in the Japanese version you have to do it the opposite direction. Actually, that is from left to right, so... Well, yeah, but you still have to do it, like... One would be on the other side. This is the broken clock sound. Second one is wind blowing. Easy. Then lava. then your field crystals are always field crystals and then water running. The sound puzzle is well designed. I'm trying to give most of the information. I mean, the controls are well implemented, but not extraordinarily so. I don't know how much controls are improvement over the original. Um, Again, I only played for this like once in um I figured it had to be my second idea because um it's well designed and implemented. I don't know what else to say about it. Um Also the contextual sound is a welcome. The I don't really look up what it's called officially. Gameplay context subtitles. This may be the one and only positive the age itself will have. Did it lock behind me? Oh, I can actually. I can get it. Okay. I'm not sure if we can praise Selentic Age for visuals. They're fine. I still think the fog is as pretty. Like it kind of comes out to a net neutral. Yep, here it is. The second worst puzzle in the game. That's even worse in VR. I had to imagine. This is literally a maze. And my god, it doesn't look like it's any better. Wait, no, it has north, south, east, and west. So you don't need to like use the Okay, what the hell am I supposed to do? I can't look at the walkthrough, not yet anyway. I had to give this an actual chance. I think there's probably something I'm missing. Anyone in chat care to help me? It just opens the door. Yep. I need to close the door? That's probably it. Okay. I think the door is doing this automatically. There we go. It's probably where most of the space was put into in the original. Also, if this is procedurally generated, then help me God. I mean, I'm not sure if I should because of the way this is designed. They got rid of the sound effect. And it's probably the worst part of the original game that's just gone now. It totally gets rid of the whole thematic element of the Selentic Age that it's based on sound effects. Because in the original game, you didn't have a compass in here. I'm pretty sure you didn't have a compass. So I might actually have a it would be information. Um, is this the Maze Runner? Is this what it's actually called? Maze Runner? There's actually the very first thing in the Reddit post about it's called a rant on the on Miss Maze Runner puzzle. Also, there's like I'm looking for the one person who actually loved the maze. And apparently, Rand Miller had like some sort of a thing. That Rand Miller actually thought this was the best. It's his favorite puzzle that everyone hates. um, Unfortunately, I'm now going to have to give it a negative for being uh, working against the sight impaired. Unfortunately, I'm probably still going to give it an unpermission negative because there's literally no way to map it. There's no way to map the maze in VR. You'd have to literally do it by memory of the original game, or take off the headset, make a note, put the headset back on. Just like remember which directions to go in. I have no idea how you're meant to play this in VR, other than just sheer memory. Even though I'm not, um, that brilliant version. I mean, this is coming from the guy who loves making mazes in Minecraft. I like navigating them though. I mean, I'll do it, but it's not exactly fun. And this is like the way you're doing it with the controls is also clunky. So I might also give it a control negative. Um, I won't give it a negative for removing the sound effect element. Um, because I gave it a positive. Not only because I gave it a positive for doing that, but because um, I mean, most players just didn't realize that. Also, I believe the sound effects they used were based on the rotation in the mechanical age, which I'm just gonna do dot 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 and hope that I remember what I was meaning by that. Um, I'm pretty sure they were based on the fortress rotation from the mechanical age. And just because this is the most difficult age to get into does not mean that it's going to be the last one that every player goes to. So there's that. I think I'm gonna give a control negative in advance. Um, I mean, I've already shown like the rotation. Um, that's two negatives and one positive, which is a very faint positive. Like again, if I were to weigh these, I would probably weigh the positive as just a one, both because um it's um I could give it another control negative. It's a different axis. I could complain that the sound effects are not there. Yeah. So I mean, the positive is canceled out by a negative, like overall. Although it's a negative in a different axis, it's control, and it's the fact that you cannot. Um, Basically, the main negative is for not being able to switch to the classic version, where you have the sound effects. I will also note that, well, I'm gonna mention in my final notes that um, because of its connection to the tower rotation, to the tower rotation, the fortress rotation from the mechanical age is kind of a little worse for that, or the original version's a little worse for that. I also feel like which direction north is, which direction, like which, what each of the cardinal directions are, it doesn't matter. It's figuring out that, okay, the clank is this direction, the buzz is this direction, the each sound effect corresponds to a direction. So like as far as you could figure, like the first sound effect you hear could be north, and then you turn around and then, okay, this is east, or this is southeast, or whatever. Um, you, you know um you could just use the sound effects are meant to orientate yourself. So um it's a little dumb that you have to pay that much attention to them and like what they represent, but um it's not bad. It's actually the most clever thing about the puzzle. So I'll kind of agree with Rand Miller that it is like a. I mean, I don't know his exact words on it, but like it's very clever. It's very, and it fits with the theme of the level, which is sound. Um, and with the subtitles, it would have worked. It would have made the subtitle, the gameplay context subtitles even more helpful, particularly for hearing impaired players. So I am kind of debating whether or not I should. Um, I also gave control negative for the fact that you had to like use all these levers. You had to wait for the animation of going for the tunnel, um, and to like turn this bit by bit. It's it's tedious, even if you know where you're going, what you're doing. Also, we're going to test whether it's procedurally generated. The north is the short ping, west is the trill, east is the air brake, and south is a clank. So we're going north first. The sound effects are still there. They're completely redundant. Um, oh, there might be spots where like you are like, huh? Nope, I don't know. I'm not sure if these are the same as the sound effects from the. Yeah, there's no cowbell. Okay, so it isn't related to the tower rotation or the fortress rotation. I'm not sure this eliminates the control negative or not. It might, but the sound effects are kind of more there for nostalgia than actual practical value. But I'd also say, like, if you want to play it the classic way, play Real Mist. Um, I might eliminate it. I don't know, because you can just do this with your eyes closed or without paying attention to the thing. Although that might be a little difficult not to pay attention to it. Um, like as much as I like to give us more negatives, I could just wait it. Like the first control negative is definitely like the dominant one, although it's like um okay, we need to go west. Yeah, so far it looks like it is not procedurally generated. If it is procedurally generated, then we have problems. Okay. No, I need to browser. Um, huh? It's like give me the option. I I feel like I can only. And wait for the printer to become available. I'm sorry it's taking so long, but like this is to save me time. Why is the printer still not available? We're on the Wi-Fi network. We're on the same Wi-Fi network. A GTA 6 will apparently include a Fortnite-like thing. HP office jet? No, it's a... No, okay, that's... I can't freaking use the printer. That's lovely. So I think we're in free. We just have to freaking keep track of where the hell we are. Oh wait, it is cowbell sound. Okay. That might be the clank. I don't know. We're in 4, do we need to head east? Hello? There we go. Should take us to 5, which is a good place to... Or not? Ah, shit. That's south. I think, maybe. Because there's a clank. How do we friggin' reset the damn thing? I'm instantly lost. Is there a... Yeah, I don't know what the hell the save went to. I can't save. That's very strange. I can't save here. I mean, I can see why you can't save here. Because you'd easily get lost. We just gotta trust that the autosave is in a good spot. Oh, that's a weird place to autosave. This could be indicative of the idea that this is in fact procedurally generated, which would give me a control negative. And then you forget to close the door again. go ahead and grab my second sprint. Oh! Oh, go to hell! Not gonna ruin everything. Ellie, you really shouldn't be here right now. So the negative would be not so much for this for the randomization feature altogether, because you can choose whether or not to randomize. The thing is, if this is randomized, then you know, if this is randomized, then that creates problems. Like the very principle of it is that you're no longer, well, you're kind of relying on your knowledge of MYST. The sound effects, but now you have the compass in there, so that sort of negates that a little bit. Um, the North is in this version of Clink. Northeast is still a Clink. Clink. Is that the direction you're supposed to go? Huh. Okay. Maybe the sound effect is no longer a matter of which direction um you're facing, but which direction you're going or you're supposed to go. That would be interesting. I don't know what the heck the purpose of southeast and northeast, like the diagonals would be. Um, well, this is just a list of um what you could conceivably um Tell me what is randomized. Well, that's great. I can't find any frickin' info on. Like, if this is random, then I'm screwed. And for the same reason that I already mentioned before. If this is, um, if this requires you to understand which sound corresponds to which direction, then, you're screwed. If you weren't, um, like taking, if you didn't go to the mechanical age already, you're screwed. In fact, you're soft locked, effectively. Okay, I do have notes on this. So Clink is north. So I might not even need this map. Clink is north again. North again. I may have to revise all my negatives. What was that again? The spin sound. That is west. West again. It's not that clunky. Was this how the original puzzle worked? Because if it is, that's actually Link. Okay, that's north. And we're already oriented north, so we'll just keep going. This may be my first time having to, like, actually completely revise all my positives and negatives. I might still give a positive for the inclusion of the compass. Exhaust. That's the east, which is where we're already pointing. clink sound and exhaust sound. So, my God, this is actually kind of brilliant. But I have to say again, the fact that you have to visit the mechanical age first to even understand what these sounds mean and where they're oriented to, um, is a negative. It's an information negative. Um, I might still have to change all my notes. And also, like, really look at the original Maze Runner. I can keep the control negative for it being a little clunky to control. I'm going to call it a quasi soft lock. Note taking is virtually impossible in VR. Note taking and reading is virtually impossible. Um, I'll think of the positive. Just watch. I'm going to have to scratch everything out all over again because I misunderstood the puzzle. But I really need to like um if they have a YouTube app, I can probably just find um it does have the compass. Okay. So the compass is not a new addition. Um so it's yeah, the compass is not a new addition. So this is actually identical to the original game. So I can't really complain as much as I thought about it. The only problem is control, and the fact that you need to have the information from the mechanical age to successfully. So clink and exhaust sound. That means I have to backtrack to my actual note page. Um, the clink is a cowbell. I don't know how you would not recognize it's a cowbell. I mean, come on. You're putting Christopher Walken to shame here. And Will Ferrell. I've got a fever, and the only prescription is going south somewhere. But only when they play the cowbell. Okay, I just need to do this. Blink and exhaust. So we're still going northeast. Is that it? Never lost. Is that if you go through it perfectly? Is this the exit? I need to go down. Okay, cool. I can actually see what is the favorite puzzle because it is actually very good and well designed. The only problem is the mechanical age aspect. Because otherwise you have to kind of guess which sounds lead in which are telling you to go in which directions. Like I don't know how I would know which sounds are indicating which directions unless I looked up a walkthrough or had notes from the mechanical age. Now, granted, this the entrance to this age is you know modeled around being the most difficult, but that does not mean that this is going to be the last one that everyone tackles because it's open world. It's or, open world ish, and some people might just be like really clever and or just be like, the rocket ship looks cool. I want to go there first. And they don't have too much trouble with the voltage and musical puzzles. Then they go there first, and then they're just completely lost in the Maze Runner. And you can't. The only way to get out is to complete the Maze Runner puzzle. That is bad game design and deserves a negative. Um, it, again, if I had to weigh it, this could be a free. Like, just to like for one to acknowledge how hated this puzzle is by a lot of people. Um, I could bring it down to a two because it's already combined with the control negative, so it'll be a free negative total. But it is ridiculous. Of course, total it would be one because there's a positive as well. So between the information and control aspects, the puzzle itself would be just a one negative if I were to reduce the information negative to a two. But yeah, I think it is ridiculous that you have to go to the mechanical age and have no real indicators within the Selentic age of uh, what the sound effects mean. You had to kind of work it out in your head, and there may be ways to contextually figure out where the sound effects are pointing you. Um, it's also random here. I could more or less confirm that. But it's funny that there are descriptions of the noises that are completely different. Because clink is a short pang. Exhaust and on that bed is the air brake, which is close. Clank is a cowbell. And I guess spin can be considered something of a trill? I don't know. But yeah, I had to like scratch out like a lot of this. Let's see, I was gonna give it an information positive. Because I thought it dropped sound effects, but it actually didn't. Um, but there's information positive for you know if you know what you're doing is actually fun. There's information negative for uh there's an information negative for having to map it out. You don't have to map it out. You just have to know which direction it's telling you to go. So that's done away with. There's still an information negative and an information positive. So at the end of the day, my initial like scores anyway, um, is is basically the same. and information negative and information positive. Just what they were changed. And one was one I was thinking of in advance because I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure like the sound effects from the fortress rotation in the mechanical age are integrated into the Maze Runner somehow. And I was right. And I was kind of thinking like, okay, it might be word for negative unless they have some other actual way to get familiar with that. Okay. Um, we're gonna beat the game proper right now.
You finally returned. I owe you a debt of gratitude, for you have nearly released me. My name is Sirius. I trust that from your explorations, you've become convinced that my wicked brother Aknar is guilty, and I am innocent. It is I who am wrongly imprisoned here, imprisoned by my father. I don't know who you are, or how you came to this island, but I assume you must at least know something of the books. It was Father who was a master of the books. He wrote hundreds of them, all describing and linking to the fantastic places and ages which he had discovered. The room in which you now stand was our father's library. It was here in this room, on this island named MYST, that he housed most of these books. But such a waste. By now you have surely discovered that Aknar has burnt and mutilated most of these books. Why? Our father was always watchful of our exploration. We grew up under his strict supervision. But when we came of age, he gave us unbridled access to the mystic books. He began to leave our adventures more and more unchecked. Unsupervised as we were, my brother began to become disturbed. He began to take more from the mist ages than he had given. Soon he gained a twisted pleasure from the conquest and destruction of the other ages. It was horrific. This thirst for destruction. But alas, even I discovered his insanity too late. He had completely destroyed all of the mist ages but 4. I wasted no time. In warning my father, I thought he would recognize Aknar's guilt. But in a fit of rage, he imprisoned both my brother and myself within the pages of these books, designed to hold us until he could judge which of us was guilty. To discover the truth, our father embarked on one final journey. However, he has never returned. I can only assume that he perished along the way, leaving me, an innocent victim, trapped forever. But now, you are here to release me. Listen carefully. You must find one more page, and I will be forever free. There is a book on the shelves in this library, which is mostly burned, but has a few pages still intact. It is the last book on the middle shelf. Find it. This book is filled with a variety of patterns. Find pattern 158. Recreate the door of the fireplace. This will bring you to the last red page. Bring that page to me, and I will finally be released, and able to reward you, of course. chills me to even think what would happen if you were to release him. There is another warning. Where the red and blue pages reside, also resides a green book. If you touch the green book, you also will be in prison forever. Our father gave us this same warning long ago. I suggest you follow his advice. Go now. Soon we will be face to face.
Okay. I'm not quite sure. I should really have taken notes on like what they're saying in each instance because I feel like maybe there's a degree to which you can actually catch them in their lies. Like look at what they're trying to tell you each with each page ad, and then when they you get to the final one in or the penultimate one technically in particular, you can. But anyway, I need to look at what the original um no, it's the same pattern. It's 158. Huh. I highly doubt that would not be um what would this be as a negative? I'm gonna make it like just a general note. Um Yeah. Like basically, if you're gonna speed run it, like you could still do it. Like if you know the combination or you know the page number for the combination, then you can literally like beat the game pretty fast. Like again, all you need to do is solve. All you need to do is solve the marker switch thing or the clock tower puzzle, and then the one that get into the clock tower. It is actually another two-stage one. Come to think of it, it is one of I guess two-stage puzzles to enter an age. So I mean, technically, the mechanical age and Selentic age are ones you probably would end up usually solving or going to back, more or less. I mean, I suppose you could say that the channel would also has a two-stage thing, although the first stage is I guess it is two stages of a type. It probably is technically the second hardest, the mechanical age. Still, it doesn't really make
Hello. I'm Akhenaten. I'm glad to see that you have returned to help me escape from my wrongful imprisonment. It was Cirrus who did this to me. Cirrus, my wicked brother. Do not listen to him. I warn you. I warn you again. He is a liar. Do not be persuaded by his evil lies. Do not release him. He killed my father. He will kill you. It began when my brother Cirrus began to lust for riches. He stole from the ages of mist. He hoarded up riches for himself. While father slept away his watchfulness. My sick brother secretly pronounced himself king. King of the ages of mist, he said. He began to look upon me in disgust. His lowly brother. I hated him. And then Cirrus began to destroy the ages of mist. He burned their forests. He tore down their structures. He flooded their lands. He murdered their inhabitants. He completely destroyed all but 4 of the ages. Of course, I had to warn my father. When I finally found him, there was Cirrus also talking cleverly with the lying tongue of a serpent. He convinced father that it was I who had destroyed the ages. He convinced father that it was I
Ellie.
who was greedy for wealth and plunder. And as Cirrus dealt the final blow, he tricked father into believing that I was the murderer. But Cirrus did not deal as fast a blow as he had planned, and his father died a slow death. He at last doubted my brother's clever lies. And so, in dying, father imprisoned us both, unsure from which of us the blow had come. I swear to you, what I say is the truth. Release me. You must release me. My brother is a deceitful liar and deserves punishment. I only wish vengeance for my dear father's wrongful murder. Believe me. You must only recover one additional page to release me from this prison. It is the easiest to find. Go to the bookshelf that's in this library. On the far side of the middle shelf, there's a burned book, which is different from the other burned books. This book is filled with patterns. Find pattern 158. Mimic its design on the panel in the fireplace. Doing this will bring you to the last blue page. Remember, don't take the red page. Take only the blue page, and return it quickly to me. Oh, and do not touch the green book. It is a clever trap to imprison those who have not been warned. Do not be tempted, for you will rot and die, imprisoned as I am. I tell you, if
If you follow my instructions, it will be well worth your while. I promise you that. Go. Go.
I wonder if the pattern is randomized. I guess we'll see. Oh, it automatically opens to page 158. That's actually a nice feature. It would be information or control. I think it would be information because it's leading you to information. Though it's also control because it resolves a problem with control. I'm going to consider a control positive. Um, okay. So yeah, this is a nice convenience feature. I believe the pattern might actually be random. Um, yep, it is actually random. Actually, I can't remember. I may have like looked up which page it was and flipped to it myself. Whatever. I'm guessing this is an actual feature. I'm hoping against hope that this is a feature because if it isn't, then I gave it a positive for nothing. If it isn't, tell me in the comments, please. I want to be accurate as I can in my review. I actually admit that the inability to take notes. The recommended, like if this were the VR version, I would definitely weight the inability to take notes in game uh, heavily. But because this isn't the VR version, I cannot. Damn it, this is gonna be really tricky. Like I'm going to like make X's here. Remember that the unactivated at least some of the unactivated um squares. Really? I'm sorry. Why is it asking for my the original combination is definitely different. I guess the randomization makes the makes the puzzle worse. Um, did I do something wrong? Huh? Okay, I'm very confused now. Oh, there's one I missed. No pun intended. Firecracker. Okay. So I needlessly printed it off. I mean, I guess you know the piano thing was um, not too needless. So we're gonna save here, not for any particular reason. I mean, obviously we could trust the brothers. I mean, who wouldn't trust them? I mean, only an idiot would touch the book that you were told not to touch. We're just gonna go ahead and free them both and see what happens. I guess make them fight to the death. Um, I guess I'd had to. I forget how you do this originally. Okay, that Akinar guy was kind of crazy sounding, obviously. So, you know, seriously, he seems like a trustworthy guy. We're just gonna put the pages down and then save again.
Yes. Yes. I'm free. Oh, thank you, my friend. My dear friend. You've done the right thing. You stupid fool. It looks like perhaps you're in the book now. And what have we here? A page. Oh no. I hope you enjoy your new home as much as I enjoyed it. I can't see you. You're getting less clear. I hope you're into books. The library looks much the same as I left it. Wagner! Oh. Goodbye.
It would be cool if that game actually had a proper 3D feature. Because I have a 3D TV. It's what I'm looking at right now. I could give it any kind of negative for that. I kind of want to know who did the voice acting for Sears and Akinar. Because, like, if it wasn't the original guys, or the original brothers, I can only imagine, like, Atris, like, it has to be Rand Miller. Like, and the fact is that the older he gets, the better the more easily he can do the voice. I had to imagine, if anything. Um, there's another Robin Miller. Maybe he's one of the like children of the Miller brothers or something. Maybe named after their uncle, rather either named after their uncle or named after their father. Although I think the idea of being named after your actual father is a little, it's only bound to create confusion. Of course, the voice actors are never last. I know they got different people to play Sirius and Akinar in um, MYST 4. Special thanks. Like the voice acting is like, it might be the same. I mean, the performances feel very similar. It's just the audio feels a lot more crisp or something. Oh yeah, this is on made with the Unreal Engine, so it would be Epic Games. Speed Tree's still around. Yeah, but if it is still the Miller brothers, then I would prefer they actually correct themselves with the voice acting, even if they are the only two voice actors in the game. He just couldn't stand the idea of Robin couldn't stand the idea of having the word actor associated with him. Well, the autosave is actually like later. Anything else? I guess the autosave was right in front of the book. So okay, like Akinar or Sirius, like we obviously can't trust him, but Akinar, he's our dude. I mean, he might sound a little weird, but
Oh, yes. I feel alive. How do you feel, my friend? Oh, and what have we here? Perhaps the pages you worked so hard for. Oops.
shouldn't like it just like fade away and transport to.
Perhaps you're seeing the world from my point of view. Oh, yes. Maybe someone will rescue you someday. Yes.
Yes.
You lose.
Static intensifies. I should have made this a video and just titled it Static Intensifies. And that's how it could have ended, but here's what really happened. I gotta give it an information positive. The bad endings are delightfully hammy, especially Akinar's. Is my note. I don't know. If also I should be loading the old save. Huh? Really? This might be a control negative. This is a later one. Oh, I need to go to the earlier one. It's the earlier one I need to go to. Okay, no negative. A negative to me for being stupid.
Who the devil are you? Don't come here to Dunny, not yet. Oh, I have many questions for you, my friend, as you no doubt have for me. Where should I begin? Perhaps my story is in order. My name is Atris. I fear you met my sons, Cirrus and Achenar, in the red and blue books on Mist Island in my library. My library. Oh, it contains my works, my writings. Oh, I wrote many books that linked me to fantastic places. It's an art I learned from my father many years ago. Oh, but the red and blue books, those were different. I wrote those books to entrap over-greedy explorers that might stumble upon my island of mist. But I had no idea my own sons would be entrapped. My sons, Cirrus and Achenar. We had many journeys together. I gave them free rein to the books. Perhaps it was not wise. I could see the greed growing in them. I had not told them about the red and blue books. Their imaginations went wild. They dreamed of riches and power. Of course, they did not know the books were traps. They begged for access to those books, and of course I denied them. Oh, extent their greed had progressed. Their own mother. They used their own mother. Oh, my dear Catherine, to lure me here to Dunny. Of course, I could return to MYST, except they removed a single page from my MYST linking book. I cannot return without that page. You, my friend, can bring that page to me. Oh, I pray you
Yeah.
believe my story above the lies that my sons have told you. If you could find it in yourself to return that page to me here in Dunny, I could go to MYST and bring justice to my sons for what they've done. I must return to my writing. I pray that you believe me. Please hurry. Bring the page. Bring the page with you.
No! I'm sorry. I had to say that this may be an information negative, but his reading doesn't feel as natural as the original reading of his lines. Like I mean, of all the characters that have had their lines redone in the various incarnations of Mist, I feel like um H's are like the most um like I mean, maybe I'm just used to the original performance. I'll give you that, but I also feel like knowing that he kind of dislikes doing the acting part of it, I feel like you can just hear how much he's kind of done with it. This might be an information negative. Like, talk me out of it in the comments. Talk me out of it in the chat if you care. But so Let's get one more bad ending. We gotta be thorough. I wonder if this will actually like work as a proper game over this time. I think in the original game you're just kind of stuck there.
Ah, my friend, you've returned. We meet face to face. And the page, did you bring the page? You didn't bring the page. You didn't bring the page. What kind of fool are you? Did you not take my warning seriously? Welcome to Dunny. You and I will live here forever.
Yeah, for the Chivo. If it actually like fades to black. I think he kind of does a good job at the game over. The game over screen is decent though. That's part of the reason why I didn't grab the page. Um, I don't think there was actually an autosave there. There may have. I think there was. We'll just. Also, it's a little weird that you had to like get this wrong in order to I'm not sure if that's negative worthy, but I can't remember. It may have actually been the gear, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was the one at the dock originally. Which means that if you want to speedrun it, you or or get the good ending quickly, you just have to like inside. Found the white page. And apparently this was done. These are all the same log, just um rotated. And at first I thought maybe that was like how would you do that? Because like they're rectangles, but they probably are. Well, their heads like still rectangles, but they're probably um uh, like because they're buried. You can like make them more thicker than what you actually see on the surface. There's some good sound engineering for like walking on different surfaces, but that's kind of par for the course. Now I had to re-enter the entire. That could be a negative. I mean, technically, you could circumvent this by just knowing you need the white page or grabbing the white page beforehand, which you can easily do, like even inadvertently, because like you have the information to find the white page, and you're like, oh, white page, huh? I'll pick this up. I can't complain about it too much. I just had to get the bad ending.
Oh, have you found the missing page? Oh, come, come. Come on then. Ah, my friend, you've returned. And the page. Did you bring the page? You've done the right thing. I have a difficult choice to make.
Linky Pale does actually have depth to it and perspective.
My sons have betrayed me. I know what I must do. I shall return shortly.
Well, the linking effect isn't quite as neat, at least by memory. You actually kind of you actually follow him. You kind of can, but you can't save. So damn it.
Hmm. It is done. I have many questions for you, my friend, but my writing cannot wait. I fear that my long delay may have already had a catastrophic impact on the world in which my wife, Catherine, is now being held hostage. Oh, and a reward. I'm sorry, but all I have to offer you is the library on the island of Mist and the books that are contained there. Feel free to explore at your leisure. I hope you find your exploration satisfying. You'll no longer have my sons to deal with. Oh, and one more thing. I'm fighting a foe much greater than my sons could ever imagine. At some point in the future, I may find it necessary to request your assistance. Until that point, I'm afraid you'll enjoy the explorations from my library on Mist. Thank you. The book. You can use the Mist linking book to return to Mist.
It's a little glitch there. And this is Dunny. all you can currently explore of it. I think this island or the place that he's in is called Kabir. It's an island in a large underground city. But I wonder what happens if we link into the book before he returns. Because it looks like we can. I was like afraid that like okay we get like some weird. Okay, this might crash the game. Okay, it didn't crash the game. Can someone tell me if they're? Oh yeah, he burned the books. Now my own kind of headcanon as to what happened is that the idea of a prison book, as established in this is I guess my headcanon as it were. The idea of a prison book as established in Riven is that it is a basically you have two types of books, roughly speaking. One is I think it's the world book or the book that contains the actual description of the age. And it also technically works as a linking book, which is the second type of book. So you have the world book, which is like really thick. It contains a description of the age and a link to it. A linking book is a link to a very particular, a very particular location in the age. So potentially you could have linking books that lead to one spot or another spot, or another spot in the age. I think usually you write it in the spot where you want to link, and then you use the Dunning language to describe the particular location where you want the linking book to go to. You can take the linking book with you back to once you leave the age. You ideally would want a linking book back to bring a linking book with you. Um, when you first enter an age, otherwise you'll have no way back. You'll be stuck. Um, which is kind of what happened to Atris. He brought the linking book, but the that may have been the page that they were that Sears was referring to actually, which is just like just take one page. I don't know why he would just need to take one page from the MYST linking book. I guess maybe taking more than one would be more likely to arouse suspicion from Atris. Because basically what they did was they tricked him into linking to Dunny. And his MYST linking book to return had a page missing, so he couldn't use it. Or at least he couldn't use it safely. Um, but anyway, my headcanon for the prison books, you kind of have to get rid of the whole idea of the pages being missing. Um, a little bit anyway. Um, that's a plot hole within this. I'm not sure if it's worth a negative or not. Um, you can debate it in the comments if you like. At this point, I'm not sure I care enough. Like the whole principle behind a lot of these plot holes is that the games are just adaptations of something that really happened. And they had to do these things to gamify it. And again, my whole idea of a MYST remake would involve sort of rectifying it with some clever game design, to help eliminate the plot holes at the very least. But in any case, given what we see here, my own headcanon would be that, okay, well, the prison books are effectively linking books, or a type of linking book, that has a subtle revision that is very difficult to notice, that basically breaks the link halfway. So rather than going to the age you think you're going to, the linking panel does not have anything particularly suspicious about it. It looks like a linking book to the age that it was initially designed for, but you can make a little bit of a revision to a certain part of the linking book, and it causes you to get stuck in a void between ages. So you're kind of halfway there, and if someone else uses the prison book, if it's fully intact anyway, um, they end up swapping places with you, and you can't actually see the person trapped inside the book. You just see the linking panel. That's the way it's presented in Ribbon. That's another kind of inter-game plot hole. It's actually maybe a little bit inside the plot, inside the game itself, because if you trap the antagonist character again, let's just say again, it's not a spoiler. Part of the plot is to trap him inside the prison book, which is disguised as a linking book to Dunny. Um, not much of a spoiler because it's like revealed in the first few minutes of the game. Um, but you have the book with you, and you can just use it and link to Dunny, or link into the prison book. In fact, you can do it before you imprison him. But like in both cases, if you use the prison book yourself, um, outside of one particular scene, um, he'll, I think, basically act like he sees you inside the prison book. Which, if that were the case, then he, the way you fool him into using the linking book wouldn't work. Although you could probably guess from what I'm describing. Um, but anyway, the idea I have is that basically destroying a trapped linking book, um, uh, basically severs the code, so to speak, that keeps the prisoner trapped inside the book, or trapped inside not trapped inside the book, trapped between in this little void between worlds. Um, so destroying the linking book, the trapped linking book, will basically allow the link to complete. So they'll end up in the world that the book was linking to. So Atris's intention with the prison with the trap books was basically to um there's still plot holes in this because if you consider the way linking panels are supposed to actually work, you're not supposed to be able to actually communicate through a linking panel. But it's kind of established within the context of the games that you can. So we'll just let that exist. Um, you could also potentially resolve the idea of being able to see them through the linking panel when they're trapped as there's like a few minutes of delay between you using the panel and becoming trapped and people being able to see you in the void through the linking panel. Like that just happens after a few minutes um, of you becoming trapped. So there's just a little grace period where you still it's still the book still looks like it's links to Dunny or wherever before it switches over to the void. It fixes some plot holes in Ribbon. Like one, the fact that apparently um, the people who read the book or discover the book later can kind of see you or seem to see you inside the book. Um, Although technically, I think in one of the bad endings, you're actually freed from the book, so that doesn't work. Maybe this particular prison book works a little differently. I don't know. But then there's a point where like Catherine checks the book and then sees that Gen has been captured. So, because the only problem, the official thing is that the prison book is retconned entirely. Like that's the official word, as far as I'm aware. And I feel like it creates problems with Ribbon because how do we capture Gan if not with the prison book? So you had to like really like do some mental gymnastics with. I maybe Gen like I'm getting into some spoilers with regard to the bad endings. Like there's one where you can use the book before capturing Gen, the prison book before capturing Gen, in which case he sends Cho, or the guy we call Cho, um, to test the prison book, and then it releases you, and then Gen kills you. Um, so in that case, maybe Gen sees you inside the book and then wants to figure out what the hell's going on, or kill you personally for being such a fool. Um, but then again, they can see you in there, and there could also be a subtle difference in the leaking panel if someone's trapped inside. Then again, you couldn't tell if it was Gen in particular, but she might take your word for it. I don't know. Like, it's hard to seal all the plot holes with regards to the prison book, but the idea again is that burning the book basically like undoes the um the the corrupted link and sends them into the age the book was originally intended to be, and you're stuck there. There's no linking book back. And the idea is that Atris intended to sort of in kind of like my intention for the revised version of the plot for a remake. Um, the idea is that Atris wants to interrogate the people inside the prison age or within the trap book, and uh, discover their intentions. And if he decides that your intentions are noble or okay, he will burn the book, get the actual prison book, and then the prison age book. Uh, go with a MYST linking book and help you return to MYST. Um, if he has any doubt about your nobility or character, um, he'll just burn the book and leave you to rot in the prison age. Um, and the general idea of why the trap books were there is because the mislinking book. It fell into the fissure, and he kind of realized as he was falling into that fissure that the leaking book wouldn't be destroyed, and that it may end up in someone else, and he feared it would end up in someone else's hands. So he created um, the trap books basically to make sure that if anyone intrudes into MYST through that linking book, that he could, at least if they use those two particular books, which are in positions of prominence, that they'd become trapped inside, and then he could deal with them in other ways. Um, and unfortunately, his sons fell into that trap. Um, I'm not sure if it's properly explained in this particular game. Um, but yeah, so that's the story. Um, so tomorrow evening, I will be playing the Rye Mage, and I'll see you there. And possibly on Monday, I might do just a final kind of rumination. I don't know if I want to call it a rumination because that'll be a a blatant rip off of War Runner. But like just kind of I might just call it analysis review breakdown. I don't know. Suggest something in the comments for what I should call it. It's kind of a review, but kind of not. Um, that will also be returning to Mass Effect 2. So if you're into Mass Effect series or action RPGs or Western action RPGs, sci-fi RPGs, you might want to tune into that or watch some of the other parts that I've done here on YouTube, or if you're on Twitch, there probably at least some archive episodes of it. Anyway, there's a bunch of things you can do. It'll take a few seconds of your time. There is a survey you can take that if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it's in the description. Otherwise, well, I don't know what to tell you. It's for future simulation Saturdays to sort of gauge which games people are most interested in seeing me play. There's also a Patreon where you can also pay to encourage me to play a game from another list. But the Simulation Saturday thing is free. But in any case, all of this is optional. And regardless of all that, I thank you for watching. And until next time.